up everybody, welcome back. So in today's video I wanted to share with you guys how I make my elderberry syrup. Cold season is approaching, the kiddos are headed back to school, and not to mention COVID is still roaming around. So I'm almost out. This is all that I have left. I had made a batch a couple of months ago, so it is about time for me to get another batch going. Prior to me making my own elderberry syrup, I did used to purchase it from a local farmer's market, and it was great. I really loved it. And after trying several elderberries, I really love hers a lot, but it was getting quite expensive for me. Our family takes some every day, about a tablespoon a day, just as a preventative, and we were going through it so quick, and it really starts to get expensive when you're taking it on a daily basis. So I knew I wanted to make my own just for a cost-effective route. How I make my elderberries is with just dried elderberries. I planted an elderberry bush last year, and I did get some berries this year, just not enough to really do anything with it. So I just preserved them, and I'm going to use them at a later time. But I do have dried elderberries. So the dried elderberries come in a bag like this. I order them off Amazon, and I get the organic ones. Once I receive them, I just take them out of this bag, and I like to add them to a mason jar. I already have some of my measured out in a bowl here, along with my water, and I'm going to be using some spring water. I have my ginger, some whole cinnamon sticks, some star anise, some cloves, and I'm going to be using rose hips. Rose hips have its own added additional benefits. It's very high in vitamin C, so I do like to add it. And that's the thing with food medicine, you can really tweak it and play around to your liking, whatever your family likes and however it works for you. So there's really not like a strict recipe. You just have to play around with it and figure out what works well for you. I do have this book, The Medicinal Herbs Beginner Guide by Rosemary Gladstar. She is great, very knowledgeable on giving you information on herbs and herbal medicine. So you can definitely read in here about the medicinal uses of the elderberry and how it has vitamin C, vitamin A, iron, potassium. Now, a good thing for me to point out is you definitely don't want to eat the raw, uncooked berries. They can definitely cause digestive upset and diarrhea in some people. So she has a recipe in here when you're using fresh recipes. I'm not using fresh recipes. As I mentioned before, I am growing a bush, but I have not been blessed with them yet. So in the future, I will probably be having a video on that one. But as of right now, I'm using the dry elderberries that I just order off Amazon. Making your own elderberry syrup is so stinking easy to do, and I know some people may be intimidated, or you just don't know. I know at one point in time I didn't know, and that's when I was buying elderberry syrup from somebody else, and it was expensive. So this is definitely a more affordable option, and I mean, it's really easy. It only takes a couple of ingredients, whatever you prefer, and then you just get it into your stove top and just simmer it low and steady. So one main reason we like to use elderberry syrup in our household is just to boost our immune system and to keep those viruses and germs at bay. There's a known study that elderberry has antiviral properties that can alleviate symptoms of colds. It strengthens your immune system and is full of antioxidants. And then with the addition of honey has its own additional benefits on its own. It can help coat your throat and soothe your throat. Really want to use like raw, organic, local honey if possible. So it can definitely help with allergies. Elderberry syrup is definitely a staple in our household, along with fire cider. It has been doing wonders for us. This is my disclaimer that I am not a doctor, so please do your own research. This is just something that I want to share with you that works for me and my family, and it's just too easy to do with just a couple of ingredients that most of you probably already have on hand besides like the elderberries. Without further ado, let's jump right into the recipe. So the only real work required when making this is grating of your ginger. You want about 2 tablespoons of the ginger. First, we're just gonna get our elderberries added in, our water, and now just keep in mind, definitely want to start with quality ingredients, and that includes your water as well. So this is spring water that I'm using, and I'm going to get my stove turned on to low. I'm going to add in my cinnamon and my star anise, my cloves, rose hips, fresh ginger, and I'm going to give this a good mix. I'm going to let this simmer for 30 minutes, and I'm going to turn off my heat. and let it sit for an hour covered. We added our whole organic dried elderberries, our cinnamon, our star anise, our cloves, our rose hips, and our fresh grated ginger. I have it on a low setting, and we want this to just come to a simmer, but not a boil, and just take it low and slow. So the elderberries have on a low simmer, and I like to just take my spoon and just press on the berries a little bit, stirring occasionally. A couple more minutes and I'll be turning my stovetop off and covering this to sit for about an hour. Alright, so this has been steeping for about an hour. Now it's time for the fun part. We gotta get this strained off. Alright guys, so here comes the fun part. So my elderberry concoction has been steeping and it has cooled down, and now it is ready to be strained. So I have my bowl here lined with a cheesecloth and a strainer, and I highly recommend some gloves because your hands are definitely gonna get stained if you don't have gloves. And once we pour the mixture in here, I'm gonna have this cheesecloth and I'm gonna really wanna squeeze it to get all of the juices out as much as possible. So you want to make sure that your mixture is warm enough that the honey can mix into it well, but not hot, boiling hot. It needs to have cooled down so that you can handle it. Not too hot, not too cold, right in between. All right, now here comes the fun part. Straining this off. So I'm going to do a little bit at a time. Round 2. Get my gloves on because I don't want my hands to get stained. And you gotta squish, squash. Gotta get all this juice out. So I squeezed out as much as I possibly could, and this is what I got. You want to measure how much you have. This is saying I have 2.5 cups. Then you want to add half of that in honey. So I will be adding 1.25 cup. Now, if you're going to be giving this to a child under 1, you definitely want to do something like maple syrup or agave. The honey is going to help preserve this. The more honey, the longer it's going to last. So mine usually lasts 3 months in the refrigerator when I do half of the amount. This is raw local honey. Liquid gold. So I have my 1.25 cup of honey. I'm just going to add that in. Gotta give this a good stir and get it all well combined. Get that honey to dissolve in there. So I'm going to be using these glass jars to store my elderberry in, and I'm going to use this funnel to get it just poured in. So I have 3 of them. Not sure how many this is going to fill up, but let's get started. So there's 1. Alright guys, so that recipe made 32 ounces for me, 2 16-ounce bottles of elderberry syrup, and one of these elderberry syrups goes for about $34.99. So you can get a bag of the elderberries and just making your own, and it's so very easy to do and very cost effective, especially if you're going to be using this every day as a preventative like we do. We take a tablespoon a day and we just use it as a preventative. If we start to feel as if something's coming on, our throat's starting to get itchy, or we just feel sluggish, I might up it, for me, 2 tablespoons, or I might take it several times throughout the day until I'm starting to feel better. Now I have the spent herbs here, and I'm going to just lay them out on this screen, and I'm going to dehydrate them and use them for tea. Now they may taste a little bit spent, but there's still some nutrients in here, and it's better than just throwing them in the trash. I could easily throw this in my compost pile, but today, this time, I'm just gonna use them for tea. So I'll dehydrate this and put it back in a mason jar. So I'm really excited that I got our cold weather medicine ready to go, and hopefully you guys are encouraged to make your own elderberry syrup. That is it for today's video, you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. One thing I would like to add, guys, is this elderberry syrup is not going to be a magic pill. Any type of home remedy is going to be a lifestyle change. You're going to have to fuel your body with good things, and this in conjunction is going to help you. I don't want you to feel like, oh, I can't make the elderberry syrup because I do this or I do that. It still will help. You can definitely work your way up to just eliminating things and getting on track to a better lifestyle, but this is definitely going to help. It's better than nothing at all. It's definitely going to help boost your immune system, and it's going to help your body. But I don't want you to think that if I just take this, everything's going to be better. No, it doesn't work that way. It's just a healthy lifestyle in conjunction with different things: eating good, working out, resting, fueling your body, and then adding these type of medicinal herbs and home medicine to your lifestyle. Okay, so this is not the magic pill. I wish it was, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. But it helps. It's going to add to helping your body fight off all those bad things. Okay,